Alright, so I got the MustHD M701 7-inch field monitor, and here's the unboxing, but that's not really interesting. The interesting part was how it got here. DHL misdelivered it to the wrong house, and not only did they take it to the wrong house they took it to, no one was home, so they gave it to the neighbor of the person at the wrong house. So when I discovered this in the online tracking and tried to go retrieve it myself, I was 10 minutes from a dentist appointment and had to go do that while all this was unresolved because the person who had received it wasn't home, which made me think that they're stealing my monitor. But DHL, after we contacted them, DHL went back and got it from the house and delivered it to my house, and so I have it. But I was a seething ball of white-hot anxiety and anger while sitting in a dentist chair for an hour. But I got it. I really like it. Although I've only had it, since last night. It's not a lot of time. But looked at a lot of monitors. Looked at the Lilliput's, the iCan, and just nothing really had all the features that I wanted. And when I came across this, and I believe somebody recommended it at the GH4 users page, but this just had kind of everything I was looking for, especially this hood here. I loved how it collapses and it'll come off real easy. I thought the build quality here is really nice, and it seems pretty user-friendly. It's plasticky, but feels solid. And there it is next to the GH4. We're going to test it out. Now, this is just me turning it on. I don't have it hooked up to the camera at this point, but I was just showing the speed at which the camera the monitor fires up. And so get a blue screen. So I went ahead and plugged in the camera, which it comes with an HDMI to mini HDMI, so that wasn't helpful because with the GH4 you got to use the micro. So luckily I already had a cable, so I was able to plug that in and kind of get it working here. And there you see my slider as I'm actually just kind of messing around. I don't have any great comparisons here, but I'm just showing at least the monitor working. So I just turned the camera off, and I'm going to turn it back on here. Do you see how quick it reacts? There's not really a lag, so we're going to turn it on. There you go. I mean, there's practically no lag. It's just on and off, which is really nice. And at this point, I haven't messed with any of the settings, so it's just right out of the box, whatever the color settings are and the contrast and everything. I really didn't mess with it. I did notice that the color of the image here on the monitor was a lot different than it was quite warmer than the image on my GH4 screen. Not that it wasn't workable, but it's certainly adjustable. I just didn't do that yet. And unfortunately, at this point, I didn't work with any of the other functions of the monitor. I just wanted to make sure that the monitor worked and that everything was going to be fine. I'm in the process of doing a lot of editing to finish things up so that I can get to a point at the end of the month where I can use all my new toys, the GH4, this monitor, the Tascam DR60D. I've just got a bunch of new stuff that I want to get out there and use, and there's a lot of clients waiting on projects, so I'm trying to wrap things up. The menus were easy to get to. There's just one button, and you use the knobs to cycle around the selections. It seemed fairly easy enough to get around. And I played with a couple of things, but then set everything back to the factory settings, and there you go. You see the colors are very different from GH4 to the monitor, but again, I didn't change anything to match the image. And there it is on a 7-inch arm. I'll run some different tests. So the couple things I didn't like was this. The HDMI lock you can hear it sounds kind of cheap. It feels like it's going to break at some point. But and then the plug seemed fairly short. But it's a field monitor, so how many times are you going to need a plug out in the field? I probably won't, but it just, for my purposes last night, it seemed pretty short. But there it is. There's the MustHD M701 7-inch field monitor, and I'll do another one later.